look at two members of the Georgia Supreme Court. That's no light thing, that's a heavy thing. And we got two members of the Georgia Supreme Court come out to celebrate the March on Washington. In 1963, no members of the Georgia Supreme Court would have been up here with us this morning. They would have been somewhere wondering how they could get even with us for raising a question about a national movement. But that was one of the significant things about the March on Washington. It moved the center of the movement to the seat of government in the nation, and the whole nation became responsible for liberty and justice for all.
Kennedy proposed the civil rights bill, but it was too little, it was too late. There was not anything in this bill that would protect women and children involved in peaceful, nonviolent protests. And went on to talk about one person, one vote, and so you tell us to wait, you tell us to be patient. We cannot wait, we cannot be patient. We want our freedom and we want it now. But then near the end, I did sort of play on words.
I didn't think it was radical, but the other thing that makes us raise the question, how did we feel? We were scared. We were nervous. I came to Washington from Chicago. I went to the Chicago meeting, got there early, and there was nobody in the airport. And I took a cab downtown to the hotel. Wasn't nobody on the street. I'm early in the morning. I said, oh, brother, we sneaked around and found a seat down on the first row under the shade of some stand they had. And so I got to see you from the front. And you did a good job, John. I didn't think it was radical.
One of the points I think we should make, especially during this time of year, that morning, early in the morning, the 10 of us went up to Capitol Hill, and we met with both the Democratic and Republican leadership of the House and of the Senate, and were wonderful discussions, wonderful meetings. We first met on the House side, then we went over to the Senate side. And as Dr. Lowery suggested or stated, we didn't see that many people. But we came out of the Senate office building, and we looked toward Union Station, and we saw a sea of humanity. Just hundreds and thousands of people pouring out, and the people already marching. And when we came out, we just locked on. It was like, there go my people, let me catch up with them. And so we started walking toward the Washington Monument, on toward the Lincoln Memorial. But I will never forget, Dr. King was the 10th speaker, the last speaker. I spoke number 6. When April Randolph said, I now present to you Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. He didn't say Junior, he said Jr., right? That's what he said. The moral leader of America. And Dr. King went up to the podium and he delivered an unbelievable speech. He transformed those marble steps of the Lincoln Memorial into a modern day pulpit. And you were sitting in it. I saw young boys getting up in the trees. There were no trees up on the mall then to get a better view. And I saw all of these black and white people with their feet in the water, trying to cool off. People were ready. There was so much hope and so much optimism in Dr. King finished speaking. We thought maybe we have 75,000, Joe, but the media and the plot service said maybe it was 250,000. I think it was one of the greatest undercount of all time.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yes.
I really believe that it was 500,000, maybe a million people on that day. When the march was all over, when the program was all over, people were still coming. See, they closed down the city. They closed all of the liquor stores. They wanted everybody out of D.C. by sundown. But after the march was over, President Kennedy invited us all back down to the White House. He stood in the door of the Oval Office and he greeted each one of us. He said, "You did a good job, you did a good job." And when he got to Dr. King, he said, "And you had a dream." That was my last time seeing President Kennedy. And 18 days later, the terror bombing of the church in Birmingham, where the full of girls was killed.
One other thing that ought to be added is that this was the first time that white folks had participated in the movement in mass numbers. Prior to that, it was mostly black folks who was involved. But at the march on the White House, there were a whole lot of white folks. Did I see you that way?